So we're about ready to get started. If everybody would like to take your seats. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Unity of Santa Barbara. We're so happy to see all of you here in the sanctuary, and we are especially grateful for all of you who are online with us. We are grateful for each and every one. So I want to make sure that everyone silences their cell phones before we start. So we light this candle to remember the light within each one of us. I am the light. Let's say that together. I am the light. And then we sound the chime to set a vibrational tone for the time that we're spending here together. So just let that kind of sink into your consciousness. So the daily word this morning is listen. And the affirmation is, in the quiet of my mind and my heart, I listen for the voice of Spirit. During the course of a busy day, I may hear all kinds of things, conversations, music, sounds from nature, traffic noise, and even my constant self-talk. Sometimes all that I'm hearing may numb me to the more intentional act of listening. As I listen, I become aware of the voice of Spirit. Its comforting, guiding presence feels like a homecoming. As I settle into a tranquil environment and begin to relax my body and my mind, I create a welcoming space for listening to the assuring voice of Spirit, discernible as my inner knowing. I breathe deeply and I rest in this space. I go about my day listening attentively for the voice of Spirit expressing through all the people in my life. And from Luke 11:28, blessed rather are those who hear the word of God and obey it. And so once again, the affirmation is, in the quiet of my heart, I listen for the voice of Spirit. So this one was written for me, and it's pretty amazing that I should be the one to talk about it. Some of you may have heard this story already, but last Wednesday I was preparing for a class I was going to teach at Cottage Hospital the next day. And I was looking for the ending. The ending just wasn't coming together, and I couldn't find the right words, and I couldn't find the right graphics, and it just wasn't happening, and I got more and more obsessed and more upset. And then I kind of heard a voice go, stop. And of course I didn't listen to that. I kept going and going and going and going and going, and then it was like, just stop, just stop, just stop, just stop. And that got my attention. And so I heard, you need to calm down and breathe. And then the words were there to kind of guide myself through a calming meditation. And then I was also guided to get up from the desk and get away from the computer and take the dogs for a walk. And when I came back, I had new eyes to see, and certainly a much better attitude. And I found exactly the right ending, and everything fell right into place. And it was a really good presentation, well received. And the lesson for me was to listen, I'm so grateful for that voice within me that got my attention. Usually it's not that loud, but under the circumstances, it needed to get my attention, and it did, and it led me, and the guidance was there for me to move in a different direction so that I could come back and revisit what I was trying to do. So thank God for spirit within me and within each of us that guides us when we listen. And so it is.
Good morning. Wow, it's great to hear a room full of people say good morning. Wow. Probably one of my favorite parts of ministry is inflicting my very talented friends on all of you. Yes. And I have known our singer and my favorite gongster for about 15 years. We met in Kansas City, Missouri, where it is the hub of the Unity Centers, and she was singing at every one of them, and I was very inspired by her ministry of singing. And she has gone on to continue to reinvent herself by learning gongs, and she moved to San Diego, and I told her, I'm going to move to California someday, and she's like, oh, great. And 9 years later, I called her and I said, I made it. She's like, yeah, I've been holding the high watch for you for a little while now. But you all are going to really be blessed by her presence. I'll bring a little of her bio here. Singer, songwriter, and gong master Terry Wilder shares her talent with us today with 4 CDs of original music, plus a gong meditation CD. Terry's passion and intention is to open hearts and raise the vibration of the planet. And I'm so glad Terry has been the inspiration for us finally to get a spiritual shower stall for our musicians to sing. Yeah, so we have live music today. And thank you for raising our vibration and that of the planet. And let us welcome Terry Wilder.
I forgot my shower cap. Oh well. To walk in peace outside of the dream, let fall the anger, wash in the stream, offer forgiveness for venom and scorn. We cannot want revenge once love is born. The mission begins right here in my heart. The mirror I hold reveals my start. Would I want to dim such beautiful light? There's only darkness if I choose to fight. I am the change that there must be. The road to peace begins with me. It starts with love. It starts with me. I am the change I want to see. Raise your children to love, and they won't raise a gun. With peace in your heart, you cannot succumb to chaos or hate or cruel bitterness. To hope for more, you cannot offer less. I am the change that there must be. The road to peace begins with me. It starts with love. It starts with me. I am the change I want to see. An eye for an eye that no one can see. When I'm loving you, then I'm loving me. We'll gently shake the world up with our love. It's all that the dream of peace is made of. I am the change that there must be. The road to peace begins with me. It starts with love. It starts with me. I am the change. We are the change. We are the change we want to see.
Woody. Thank you, honey. Yeah. Yeah, what else do we need to say? All right, just be that change. Thank you, Terry. Oh, boy. So we end our 7 weeks, we wrap them up, our weeks of talking about thriving through uncertainty. I'll start with something that I'm hoping is going to bring you some peace. We'll see. I remember my Bible teacher told me when I was in ministerial school, unity is here to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. That was good. Yes. So it has been said that you'll never get it wrong and you'll never get it done. So let us be with those ideas today as we move into our final week of talking about thriving through uncertainty. And to talk today about how to allow ourselves to make incremental changes in life rather than needing everything that we start to be done and to be finished. A program I've been part of for a long time says progress, not perfection. Because boy, if we can get into perfection, we are certainly not going to enjoy the journey of whatever we're involved with. So let's have a little review of the last 7 weeks to remind us of this amazing 7 weeks that we've been with. The first thing in Tama Kieves' book, Thriving Through Uncertainty, is that uncertainty is your superpower. I've seen Wonder Woman and Superman, and I never heard them say, uncertainty is my superpower. No, we haven't seen that much, but uncertainty is our superpower in that it is the way life is. So in the way of being able to embrace uncertainty, you can feel the power in it. I always say that the Groundhog Day movie was, a comedy, but Bill Murray was not very happy in things being the same. So even though we may feel sometimes, I'm in this routine, I'm in this rut, it's not true because every day is different. And so it is you that gets to be this change that is always happening around us. It's a superpower. That we find faith when we're freaking out. That we have really found fear often is not about anything that's even dangerous. We've made up fear as something that we've just decided. We're afraid of change. We're afraid of communication. We're afraid of love. We're afraid of our own passion, right? So we want to find the faith and be committed. In fact, in that chapter, she talked about, I'll not be taken down. So then we want to trust ourselves. You trust yourself and you'll know what to do. Why don't we start there? And trust, I use the acronym of to rely upon Spirit totally. That could be our way of trusting, to know that the answers are inside. That action isn't always our best choice. Sometimes we'll get an idea and we want to start running around and doing things, and that the opportunity is to find, again, that center, that the main action, she said, to take is to diminish fear. It takes a different way to find a different answer was our 5th week. And we recognize that we need to do things differently if we want different results. Insanity, doing the same thing over and over again. And why is this still turning out the same way? Right? So we've decided to be sane. Just a thought, right? And then last week we talked about moving from our comfort zone to our stellar zone. And what is your zone of genius? Where is it that you find yourself feeling joyful? Did it look like Terry was having a good time singing? Yeah. So this ability, what is it and it'll change as time goes on, right? But how do you stay really connected to the joy? You just went, Bella, and went and studied something, music. Yeah, you were making a recording, and she's out here. I just remember her telling me that last week, and you can see it in people's eyes when people are saying, I'm going to go do this thing, and it's like, yeah, I'm not even going to do it, and I feel excited just listening to you. So that zone of genius, and today we're talking about how to make progress, not war, and then she puts in parentheses, with yourself. Tama tells a story about going into her office. And I don't know about you all, but my office can tend to look a little colorful. My ex-husband for years said, Heidi, when you're here, it looks lived in. And then toward the end of our marriage, he said, why can't you follow the system of cleaning up? It's like, I thought it was lived in, honey. I thought it was lived in. Anyway, so Yes, right. It always shifts. But the idea is that she went into her office that might have looked a little lived in also, and decided to clean it up. And she got all of her boxes and she, dumped them out and cleared off the desk and had this big pile of stuff. And she started sorting through it, and she realized after an hour, I'm exhausted. I don't want to do this anymore. And this is the quote from the book. She says, "Incremental change had not occurred to me. I wanted to power through years of inattention. I wanted this discomfort out of my life. I wanted to make progress and change my sorry, sloppy self into a minimalist right this second." That sounds good, but right? This is where we get stuck. She said, "I then realized," and this is why I believe you came here today, "I realized ambition had become another name for self-condemnation." Yeah, that this idea of I need to start all these things and I need to go but where am I resting and where am I balancing and where am I meditating? I mean, Russ's story was so profound around this. I'm going to do this and it's got to look like this and it's got to be perfect. And then he realized, I'm missing this, I guess it was a PowerPoint or something, and he just lost his serenity. He didn't lose himself. He lost the sense of the word we're using is thriving. See, Tama talks about thriving as a way of life. It's not just, on Wednesdays, right? It is the opportunity to practice these principles. Practice, right? Progress. It's not perfection, it's progress, and it's really mainly showing up for yourself, for your practice, for your meditation, for our spiritual community where we all remind ourselves of this. And then we go out, and the most important thing is not to beat yourself up along the way, because I am always doing the best I can in every moment. Can we say that together? I am always doing the best I can in every moment. Your little kid inside of you is very happy that you're saying that. Because the Four Agreements, the guy that says, not to take things personally, he said, if anybody treated you the way you treat yourself, you'd be like, get out of my life. All right? Nobody talks to me like that, except for here we go. So this idea of progress is really a comfort, a lullaby as we're finishing our series of thriving through uncertainty. So Tama talks about a Japanese system called Kaizen. And I looked it up to get maybe a video of it, but they use it a lot in businesses. But the opportunity, what it's really Kaizen, what it means is it's a system of small acts and small steps. It's the symbols mean continuous improvement. So that's it. We had lovely folks that showed up for our meditation day yesterday and gonging and walking. And I don't think none of us said, you better leave here being a perfect meditator, whatever that is, right? We just said, watch your breath. Watch how you're feeling. Watch how more released you feel from the intention you'd set this morning. I'd like to feel lighter around this. And everyone left with a completely different, their facial expression was completely different. So, in fact, y'all want to just raise your hands that were there? Because I see the 3 of you, 4 of you, 5 of you, my gosh. So if you have any questions about it, talk to these folks. And because we'll do it, I'd love to do that at least once a quarter. It's really and it's a very bonding experience for all of us that come together to do that. So thank you for showing up. And I know somebody said when they first came in, they said, I'm afraid to do this because I don't really know how to be quiet. And we're like, well, we could stop talking. We could start there. Right? I mean, we're just, it's really interesting. We know how to do almost anything, but our mind tells us that the scariest part is our getting to know ourselves. And if you'll notice, this entire book, this entire idea of thriving is getting to know you. Is getting to know you. But it's good to know you'll never get it wrong and you'll never get it done. Yes. So Tama also says that we're not here to finish things. We are here to work through things. That self-discovery is a process that never ends if you are lucky. So I had, and earlier in my life, I didn't quite understand about how to work with my own healing at any level. And so my solution was to drink alcohol and just get obliterated. Yeah, it has seemed to be the theme of my childhood, of my, well, not childhood, but teenage years for sure. And I didn't really understand the dynamics in which I was living. There's this cycle of addiction, and it can show up in many forms, as you all know, with alcohol and drugs, sex, shopping. I don't like to look at the shopping thing, but and many, many ways of workaholism. But the idea was that I started driving, and drinking and driving is a very bad combination, and I'm very grateful that I didn't ever hurt myself or anyone. But I wasn't very popular with the police. Yes, and so I always say, by a very loving judge and some police officers, I ended up in a program that was specifically for DWI people. So here was my tribe. Yay! This is my group of friends. They're all multiple DWI people. That's what they called it in Texas, driving while intoxicated. But the point is, there was a guy leading the class that had 10 years of sobriety, and he was talking about alcoholism as a disease. And he said something that really just, my mind had not heard it before, and he said, "You're not a bad person, you're a sick person." And I went, well, and something shifted for me, because I thought, I was broken and bad. I didn't really understand I was dealing with an illness of spirit. But what I'm really bringing up about around progress is there was a guy that was, again, 10 years sober, and I kept thinking, well, first of all, I thought he was lying, But then I started realizing, how do you get 10 years of sobriety? And then somebody said, "Oh, Heidi, one day at a time." I was like, well, that doesn't sound like fun. I want 10 years of sobriety, right? And so they're like, yeah, but this is a lifestyle. This isn't like a diet or something to make the police like you or get rid of your tickets or, or somehow tell people you're not drinking. It's not that. It's a way of life. Just like thriving, it's a way of life. And one day at a time, I have 36 years of sobriety today, and there's no applause. It's really just the idea of the progress. And when people come to me today and say, how do I get sober? I'm like, one day at a time. And it's a lifestyle that's so much better. I thought I was going to miss out on all of this excitement of being drunk, and I really haven't missed anything. In fact, my whole life I'm here today because of being able to understand thriving and what thriving really feels like. They also said something very profound to me that day that I think it's interesting that it is so profound. They said, if you don't have a drink one day at a time, you're never going to get arrested for drinking and driving again. It's like, really? I guess that's true. Yeah. So sometimes these things occur to you that are very clear, but thriving allows us to see things a lot more clearly and to sort of get curious about these behavior patterns that are not allowing you to thrive. They start really showing up in your face. And that's what we were sitting with yesterday, to kind of look at what's happening. All right, so I always love to tell a story of somebody I know, past, present, future, well, future, maybe not future, but I want to talk to you about my friend Terry Wilder. Because Terry really did the ultimate thing of thriving through uncertainty. That Terry, courageously enough, has had a life of singing. And singing, is kind of one of those things like art that people say, well, enjoy it on the side. You're never going to make a living doing that. Anybody hear that from your more practical upbringing? But Terry never really heard that or got that or certainly didn't believe it. And at 9 years old, she was traveling with a little group to the senior centers with a group called the Hummingbirds. and there was no YouTube in those days, so we don't have many videos, but Lord knows they were going and singing the little Hummingbirds. So Terry has always been singing for a living and also what she loves. And again, when I met her in Kansas City, she was singing at all the Unity churches, and she was quite the famous person in town. I'd go hang around with Terry, and I'd kind of get pushed back by her entourage, and people would say, "Oh, are you Terry's friend?" I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to keep up with this, but so Terry was great career singing, and it takes a lot of belief, talk about finding faith and doing all those things. But Terry, 3 years ago, she started moving. She wanted to live in California. She moved to San Diego, which was a huge sense of thriving through uncertainty. But then about 3 years ago, Terry got a bug, an infection, and it ended up going into her inner ear and paralyzed one of her vocal cords. And so 3 years ago, Terry couldn't sing. And if you can imagine something you've done your whole life, and now you're not doing it anymore, or you're not able to do it anymore, how terrifying that would be. And I know with our pandemic, my gosh, people have had a whole life, doing a restaurant or doing whatever it is you've been doing. And all of a sudden it's over, but you're not over. See, you're not over. You're never over. That's why she says that the idea of being able to, if you're lucky enough, you get to continue to live in this place of uncertainty. So Terry, in the meantime, had also started playing the gongs. And the gongs, especially when she lost her voice, were the way she could still be in vibrational change in the world, and vibration, and she'd say that the gongs kind of became her voice. But mainly what I thought has just been phenomenal, and it really continues to blow my mind, is that instead of saying, I give up, and why did God take this away from me, and that idea of being that victim that it's easy to get into, she just kept doing the next right thing. She just kept being in this sense of progress, in this place of what's the next step, what's the next place, how do I take care of myself? And I like to just put up those 5 things that I are, because part of it is to get inspired, for sure, and we want to stay curious. We really need to find our tribe, y'all, and that to me is the biggest thing, is that you've got to have people when we're going through these times where you don't know what's next and you've lost that thing that you thought was yours. We have each other and we need each other, and we get to talk about these things, because if you try to, I'm going to do this myself and just be on your own, it's very scary and very lonely, so we need each other. But so Terry, I just kept hearing about the gongs, and I kept thinking, okay, this is very different, but it was something that you saw, that her ability to, as we're saying, use uncertainty as a superpower, to find faith when you're freaking out, to be able to not get into the action so much as get into the what really is touching my heart right now, which were the gongs. And to talk about having to find a different way, to find a different answer, and live in your zone of genius, which is very wide. This is the thing, you don't just have the one thing. Genius is unlimited. So what is it that touches your soul? I know gardening and painting, and it can be even playing with kids and dogs. It goes on, but where's your zone of genius where we don't forget that? And so Terry's gone on to, she kept getting out there to sing, and she said, sometimes I didn't know what even was going to come out of my mouth. When she started, after 6 months, 6 weeks, I think it was, going back out and singing again. And it took a couple of years, and she's back to singing again. Clearly, I'm going to give you a hand here for your thriving. But I didn't know, but what really amazed me about knowing Terry and listening to her, because when she lost her voice, I felt really sad. I was sort of, that's a bummer, Terry. Rather than I had to pick up myself to go, wait a minute, something's shifting, something's moving in you. And there's a greater sense of appreciation, not only for her voice, but for this other ministry that's come through her. So I wonder if we let this thriving through uncertainty be these little steps, be these little acts and these small acts where it's not about the completion or the perfection, it's about being in the breath. I love what Russ did, is he went out and he walked his dogs, right? And that's how he calmed himself down enough to be re-engaged. And so that's our opportunity, is to keep ourselves in this place of not perhaps what you grew up with, get it done and get it finished, and where, what's the grade, and why didn't you make an A, and all of the things that, perhaps you were told, with people that are well-meaning, but it certainly wasn't esteem building, yes? So we're working with how to stay in this place that's very childlike and very kind to ourselves as we go through this thriving. And how can you really become your own best friend? So again, I'll say, you'll never get it wrong and you'll never get it done. And there's something very light about that. So at the end of our day yesterday, we were cleaning up, and I looked out in the courtyard out here, the beautiful courtyard. Thank you all for creating such a beautiful courtyard. And there was a little girl, she's not quite 2, and she was on her scooter. And she was going back and forth, and she had her helmet, and she was really going fast. And I was thinking, my gosh, what a brave soul. And, because the idea that I see with kids, there's just kind of a whatever feeling, right? I'm just going to do this. I don't care if I do it right or wrong. And then if she didn't like the scooter, 5 minutes later, she'd be doing something else, right? There's not this, and we have that inside of us, my friends. So her name is Sienna. And then I saw something else really funny, and I realized why she is so exuberant and courageous and thriving, is that I saw something that her dad did as she was doing her scooting back and forth. And so I want to show a little video of Sienna. Yeah, it's very short, but I want you to watch it and watch to see what her dad did. Wait for it. Wow!
Wow, Sienna and Dad.
I know, it was precious. I saw that and I said, can I film that? And they're like, sure. And then you should have seen her face like, when am I going to get filmed? And Terry and I were we could feel that thriving. The thriving's in us. It's just there. It was Sienna was doing her thing, but where we were feeling it was in us. So I know that all of that thriving feeling is always in me. It's always just as close as my breath. And what I saw about her parents, they were playing with her, right? They were changing their behavior to honor her. And so I recognized how just free she felt in her sense of being who she is. And I'd like you to recognize that you are free. You always have been, and you always will be. And it's our opportunity to really unleash that is within us. Tama says, you have every right to desire progress, but it's disabling to condemn where you are. Thriving comes from loving, not from withholding love. Yeah? So I'd like you just to put your hand on your heart for just a moment. And I'd like you to see yourself, let's say walking along a beach, since we have such a beautiful beach here. And I'd like you to see you taking the hand of your little girl or your little boy and feeling that sense of kindness and openness and gentleness, that it is not about perfection with this little one. It is about engagement and inspiration and silliness and ease. And so thank you, Spirit, for our connection to that truth, to allow the little Siennas that we see to guide us and to teach us and inspire us. And we make a commitment to anchor this feeling of thriving right here and right now. And so it is. Yeah. So that's the thing. That's the thing. And I'd invite you to get a little picture of yourself and put it somewhere. 2, 3. Yeah, find it. It's somewhere. I don't know if you got the hummingbirds, but get those kids out. Yeah, right? All right. Well, thank you all for being in this journey. We've had a wonderful class on Wednesday nights. I've really been able to hear people walking through the things that they didn't know they could walk through, and this is how we are in this kind of conversation. So I'd just like you to remember that it is, like Sienna, all inside of us, and we get to relax into it. We get to be very kind to ourselves. How about that clip one more time with stay curious and stay inspired to find your tribe, to believe, expect the best, right? That is, before I come to Sunday service, I always see it in my mind. I see Woody, I see Terry, I see Russ, I see me, I see all of you, and that there's this beautiful feeling of connection, and I see it before, and I know I'm creating it through seeing it. So expect the best, and finally to be really kind, and that includes to yourself. all right? So I'm going to end with one of my favorite readings that just it's a very short one, and you've all heard it. To dance like no one's watching, to love like you've never been hurt, to sing like no one's listening, and live like it's heaven on earth. So stay alive, and let's keep going with the thrive, all right? Namaste, and so it is, yes. Yummy, yummy stuff. So we're going to have our meditation done by Terry. So we're going to be shifting vibration, friends, as we are thriving. It's a new way to find a different answer. And so I'd invite you, Terry will tell you about, but definitely relax, close your eyes, we're turning off phones, and see, you're wanting to gong over there, but we'll just let her gong. Terry Wilder, everybody.
I invite you all to settle into your seats, get yourself as comfortable as you can. It's best with feet flat on the floor if that's comfortable for you. And go ahead and close your eyes, and I'll see you in a few minutes. Take a nice deep breath now. Feel yourself returning to this present moment awareness. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Okay. Well, that was amazing. Get this thing upside down. Thank you. It was beautiful, and thank you, Reverend Heidi, for reminding us to be kind and being our best friend. Okay, so this is the time in our service when we focus on gratitude and giving. And I want to thank, and we want to thank all of you for your generosity and your support of Unity of Santa Barbara and all the many ways that there are to give and support Unity of Santa Barbara. There is the Givelify app, and Penny will be showing us. There it is. You can download that, and you can sign up for recurrent giving, which really connects you to the law of circulation. You can also visit our website, santabarbaraunity.org. You can click on Donate at the top there, and that will also take you to the Givelify program. If you're on Facebook Live, there is a link to Givelify there also, and looks something like that. And if you're in the sanctuary here and you want to give in person, we have some love offering boxes right at the exits as you're leaving. Or you can stop at the table outside of the office and you can give by credit card today. But we want to remember that however you give, it's important to remember that it is the gratitude in our hearts for all that we receive from this spiritual community, from Unity of Santa Barbara, from Unity Worldwide Ministries, all that we give to each other and receive from each other. We know that we are creating a life that works for each of us. What you give returns multiplied. And so let's bless one of these many channels of good. Hold your gift in your hand. If you give electronically, hold that activity in your heart. And let's say these words together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I share.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. Please join me. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Feel that. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Blessings come in all forms, yes. So, this Friday, I know I've been up here blessing you all with wonderful spells for weeks now, but this Friday is our spooky bingo, a way to support our AV team, a way to support Unity. But I have asked dear Penny, who has created a wonderful video for us, and this is she is clearly thriving in her zone of genius. So watch this video. We need y'all volume. I've put together a lot of spells in my life, but this spell includes some really wonderful ingredients: fun, prizes, and great support for this spiritual community that really isn't all that spooky. But, I had to get to work somehow today. This Friday, October 30th, we're having Spooky Bingo, and there is $100 grand prize, and I want you all to go, ooh, right? So $100 grand prize, and there are 10 games, and there'll be a prize for every game. So, that's an ooh also. But what you end up doing is getting a bingo booklet that has 10 games. See, like blue game, orange game. It's really simple, yeah? And we will be in person, and we will be on Zoom. And it's $25 for this game, this booklet, which is 30 chances to win. And if you want to get 5 booklets, it's $100, and then there's $20 a booklet, and there are then 150 chances to win. So all of that is out there. And if you buy the $100 bit where you get 5 booklets, you get a free dopper. Whoa. And you can buy them here in person, you can get them online. Costumes are required. And all of the proceeds are going to our wonderful AV group over there for a new camera, for mounting, for a booth. Look at them. They have to pull this table together every week. So let's give them a big hand. It's Sven and Penny and Gary and Greg. And let me tell you, it is a work of love what they're doing back there, and especially for you people online. So you can buy your booklet today. You can buy it online, and we'll scan it to you if you buy it online. Thank you for that video, Penny. Come on. Woo!
Hey, so you know me, I'm Penny Little. I'm part of the AV team there. We're the guys in the back, guys and girls in the back, who are putting together the sound, the video, and the visuals every Sunday for all of you, now that it's 25% capacity here in the sanctuary. And also, I think I'll take off my mask.
Yes, you're so cute. Yeah.
and also for all of you online. And for the past many, many months, we've been getting by with our old, antiquated camera. It's almost an antique. Well, maybe it's not that old, but we're feeling like it's that old, because it's like we're really feeling like we need some new equipment. We need a remote camera, because if you noticed, I'm jumping up and down all the time, running back and forth, and to host that new camera, we probably need a new booth to protect our gear and make it all safe. And it's going to cost a bit of money, but we figure we're moving into a brand new era, and we're rising to the occasion. And we want you all to join us in rising to that occasion and support the team. And one way, of course, is Spooky Bingo, but if bingo is not your thing, well, you could always, get your name on the booth. Or there are things,
or a few names.
Or a few names on the booth and the camera. These things cost money, and there's all the things that go with them, cables and mountings and all that kind of stuff. And we need a USB mixer, because we're doing all these workshops online with Zoom, and to do it live and in person and on Zoom is a new challenge. So I invite all of you to join with us and help us move into the future, because we are the future of Unity, all of us. So thank you.
All right, Penny. Penny is perfect. All right. Yes. I said, are you comfortable doing an announcement? She's like, yeah, no problem. So anyway, Penny will be out there at the table too. Everything will be out here. You can get your bingo booklets. You can certainly donate to AV. I'm just going to roll through the rest very quickly. Jennifer is starting a class that the dates have shifted, and it's going to be 5 Mondays. It's going to be starting on November the 9th. So she'll be talking about Daring Greatly, Brene Brown. It'll be just on Zoom for right now. And then let's roll on to the next one. Let us see here. Oh yes, we're not going to be doing the community chat anymore. It's gotten a little small, so we'll figure out something else. Wednesdays we'll still do 5:30 meditation. And let us see what's next. Our Showers of Blessings is now every Thursday in our parking lot. And if you would like to be a towel washer or come to volunteer, you can email unity@santabarbaraunity.org, and we'd really love you to be part of that. And I know I don't know why I let these announcements. Oh yes, you want to sign up for our e-newsletter, because if you do, you will get all the announcements. You won't be like those dinosaurs left. That's why they're not around anymore. Noah left them. All right, so let's see. What is the, go out these doors when you exit, please, and then you can do anything out there. You want a social distance. Catherine Davis, who I see out here, did our arrangement today. Isn't this beautiful? So you all, big hand to her. She's out there looking very humble, so the flowers out there, you're welcome to take them. We're asking if you'd like to leave a love offering. That's a beautiful thing. And is there anything else, Sherry? That you
We're going to let Terry sing one more song.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, there we go. I do this every week. All right, so, but again, go outside. I get very excited about Spooky Bingo. Okay, Terry Wilder will close us out here.
And Woody, for whom I'm very grateful. What a treat. Yes. When the walls come tumbling down, I choose joy. I choose joy. When the world stops spinning round, I choose joy. I choose joy. When my heart is hard to move, or when my music's lost the groove, but not with Woody here. When I have too much to prove, I choose joy. I choose joy. 1, 2, 3, 4. I invite you to stand up if you're willing and able. Clap along and sing along. You know that chorus now. It's I choose joy. It's very simple. 3 little words, 3 big words. Here we go. When hate is all I see, I choose joy. Sing it back. I choose joy. When fear won't let me be, I choose joy. When betrayal and lies hide the light from my eyes, I look up to the skies and I choose joy. Sing it. I choose joy. We're going to go up the joy ladder now. Joy, 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 joy. I choose joy. Joy, 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 joy. I choose joy. In this moment right here, I choose joy. Sing it. I choose joy. For the ones that I hold dear, I choose joy. Sing. To be who I must be. Oh, for the light to shine in me. For everybody to be free, I choose joy. Sing it. Here we go up the ladder now. Joy, 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 joy. I choose joy. Joy, 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 joy. Some joyful sounds from Woody. The dance floor is open, by the way, socially distanced. Give it up for Woody DeMarco on that solo. Clap. I find a stable ground, peace and hope abound. I hear a sweeter sound. The chains have come unbound. Love is all around when I choose joy. Oh, in this moment right here, I choose joy. For the ones that I hold dear, I choose joy. Got it. To be who I must be. Oh, for the light to shine in me. For everybody to be free, I choose joy. And everybody will be free when I choose joy. I choose joy. Thank you, Woody. Thank you all. Thank you, Heidi.
Yes, indeed, we do choose joy. I want to thank everyone who is in support of our service this morning, especially our AV team back there, all of the ushers and the people screening you at the door before you came in. Thank you so much. Let's give them a hand. One last announcement. Next week is the time we turn the clocks back, so just remember that. I'm not sure, I know you turn them back, but I don't know what exactly that means, but show up on time. And I think that's all we have, yes? Oh, and Terry.
Carrie has a table.
One more sound. Thank you, Sven. That was a quick. So tomorrow morning, I am offering 2 solo, one-person gong sessions, meditations, just private sessions, and one is at 10 a.m. and one is at 11:15, and I think it'll be over in the kids' one of the places over there. Sherry's pointing. It'll be over that way. So if you're interested, please come and talk to me afterwards. Thank you.
And Sherry.
And I have my CDs, and I just have a couple left, but I do have some flash drives of the Gong Meditation CD. So see me out there. Thank you.
Okay, and so now is the time for us to sing our peace song.
That was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. See the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joy as well. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
and our prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you so much for coming this morning. Have a wonderful week.